Every year in the National Football League, there's another season from the end of the regular season until you get to the Super Bowl. It's called the coaching change season. In the NFL, they call it the coaching cycle. Every year, 6 or 7 coaches get fired, and there's this movement to try to figure out who's going to be the guy going where to do what. And then when those decisions are made, the pundits get out there and say, who made the best move in the offseason during the coaching cycle? This year, the Los Angeles Chargers, according to many, made the best move by getting Jim Harbaugh. And I can see that because Harbaugh was, let's face it, the biggest story out there. He was the biggest fish in the sea in this coaching cycle change because he was coming off a national championship at Michigan. He was the hot property. The Chargers needed a coach. They wanted a guy that could work with Justin Herbert, a great young quarterback, and get them to the promised land. And Harbaugh was that choice. So I think to a degree, the LA Chargers did become the guy at the top of the list in regards to the coaching cycle season. But I think the other team that made the best moves, and this is one of those deals where nobody mentioned it, but the fact that our Detroit Lions, kept both of their offensive and defensive coordinators is huge. In my opinion, it's 1 and 1A in regards to who had the best coaching cycle season. The Lions had a great one by keeping their coordinators, Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson. They did an outstanding job of keeping their continuity on a team that was a breath away from getting to the Super Bowl. In my opinion, keeping those guys was as good as the Chargers getting Harbaugh. And the other thing I want to mention about this coaching cycle season, a couple of surprises. One, Belichick from New England, Pete Carroll from Seattle, both of them fired. Both of them didn't land anywhere. That's a bit of a surprise to me. They are not going to be out of football long, I don't think. They'll find something to do, but it just didn't fit for those two great coaches to find a place this year in this coaching cycle. The other surprise, and it was stupid, was Mike Vrabel leaving Tennessee and not getting a job. That surprised me. And the other thing that was crazy, people were out there saying that Vrabel didn't get a look because he's physically imposing and he was kind of difficult to deal with because of his physical size as a former player. And you know what that is? That's a crock. Look at the Lions. Dan Campbell is a physically big guy, and yet he's doing just fine. Vrabel was fine and wasn't physically imposing when he was winning championships in his division and getting Tennessee to the playoffs. So all that stuff is about getting clicks. So when you read that stuff, don't believe any of it. It's not true. Vrabel will get a job, and it's not because about him being physically imposing. In the past, there have been a lot of physically imposing coaches. Art Shell, to begin with, back in the day with the Raiders. Madden wasn't a small guy, okay? Ron Rivera, former player. He wasn't a small guy, and he's coaching. So just let's stop that nonsense. That's my thoughts on the new season, the coaching cycle season in the NFL. And if you want to read more about it and get more in detail, check my written blog out on my Facebook page and my website, jimbrandstatter.com.